guys, so I did a video showing the comparison between airbrush, sponge, and pigment, and they're all mixed up. They're not in the right order, so if you want to see which is which and which worked best, keep watching. Hi guys, I'm back. How are you? I hope you're all good. I'm doing pretty good. Okay, I guess. Not the best, but here we are. Okay, so we're gonna do a little comparison today on these three beautifully prepped nails on my cute stand that I make. They're on my website, thedevilwearspressons.com. Okay, we're gonna be comparing, I'm sure you saw in the title, sponge, pigment, airbrush. These are the Myth Mellow sponges. They are amazing. And then the Myth Mellow Easy Picker. Pick up those little marshmallows with this little guy. Makes your life easier. You're going to need some gel polish. I'm sure you could use regular nail polish too. If that's your gig, use that. You're going to want a top coat. You're going to want to seal in all the goodness once you're done. This, I forgot to show you that you would need it. You don't have to have it, but it just makes everything look nicer, and you'll see why. So any kind of milky, jelly white, use that. Grab it. You're going to want it. All right, these are the pigments I'm using, the Function of X pigment palettes. They are pretty. I think they have like one or two other color options. These are the only two that I have. I just got them. This is my first time trying them, by the way. This one is called Power. And then this one is Passion. So it's more like pinks and purples. They're really pretty. Yeah, like I said, the only way that I have done aura or ombre nails is actually with an airbrush. So we're all learning here today. Let's see how it goes. So this airbrush gun is by Apres. It's my favorite. I had one from, and this this airbrush liquid is by the brand Airgel. They're my favorite. They have tons of colors. You're going to want gloves for airbrushing. Gloves and a mask. Don't be dangerous. Be safe. And then these are the pigment brushes I will be using for the pigment option. So you're going to need some little short, like little kabuki type brushes. These are literally makeup brushes I dug out. This one I ended up using because it had a fluffy brush on the end as well as the little short brush, so I could use the fluffy brush to blend things out. These are the nails that I used, if anybody's wondering, the Diamies, because they're already like prepped on the top, so it was easy breezy for me. What I was saying real quick, I've used airbrush guns from Amazon. They suck. They clog all the time. The Apres one I really, really like. I had to show you my cute palette. Normally I would be using my palettes that I make for this, but I figured a white palette would be a lot easier for you guys to see what I'm doing, so I just had to show you because it's so cute. They're all available on my website. I'm not going to keep bragging. Just go take a look. I make cute shit, okay? Okay, so you're going to take your gel polish or whatever polish you're using and dab it on a palette. This is the Izemi. I don't think it has like a color name. It's whatever number is on the front of the bottle, and I can't see it anymore. So rewind, take a look. It's like a really pretty neon pink. It's actually the color I have on my left hand. I love it. Take your little sponge grabber. If you don't have a sponge grabber, use your little fingertips, or preferably like tweezers or something would probably be better. So when you grab it, if you have one of these, this is going to make it a lot easier. If you have a little grabber, grab the sponge at the very tip, but not so like, see how you can't see the metal grabber on the end of the sponge, so it's not going to dig into your nail. You want it right at the tip so it pulls the tip of the sponge down and rounds it out a little bit. All the nails are pre-prepped with, I used a jelly white and then I topped it with a ceramic matte top coat by Function of X. It is my favorite matte top coat ever. As you can see, it leaves no lines in the nail or anything. It is the best matte top coat. So yeah, all of the nails are prepped exactly the same. They all have to have a matte top coat on top before you do this. Just make your life easier and just listen to me, okay? So now you're going to dab your sponge in your color and then dab out a ton of it. Dab it out till it's hardly on there anymore, and then you're going to start in the middle and you're just going to start making light circles all the way out, not to the edge of the nail. You want to leave some edge so it looks like an ombre. You're going to start heavy in the middle and then it gets lighter and graduates as it goes out and out and out and out. It takes a little while. The process of the sponge took me a little over 3 minutes to do one nail. So imagine if you're doing 10. That's a half hour, I believe. So that's a long time. It took me a while. I think this was the longest way of doing the aura, was the gel polish. It's pretty though. I like it. So you're just going to keep doing that. Add a little bit more, make it darker in the middle and lightest on the outer edges, right? So you just want to keep dabbing, 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 dabbing. If you need to dab some off to blend, do that. Just play around with it. You just want the center to be darkest and the edges to be lightest. This is what you'll end up with. Cure that. And then come back. Always come back. You're going to have this. She's cute, but she could be cuter. So this is where the jelly white comes in handy. Nothing's perfect, but this will make your nail look more perfect because it literally just adds, obviously, a sheer white on top, and it just kind of blends everything together and makes it look a lot more even and perfect, dare I say. So get yourself a jelly white. They're good for so many things. I use jelly white probably more than any other color because there's just so much cool stuff you can do with it. It comes in handy. So just brush that on there. Get it all even. We don't want any little streakies. But yeah, I like this. I hadn't used a sponge before, and it was not difficult. I think it's pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of time. So just depends on what you like. So you'll have this and then you're going to cure it and top coat. Next, we're going to use some pigments. I have heard so many good things. I'm going to use that pink in the bottom right corner. I've heard so many good things about the Function of X pigments, so I had to try them. So we're going to use a dense, short, small brush like this, preferably. And we're going to dab it. Like I said, all these nails are prepped the same. So we've got that jelly white, and then I put a matte top coat on top. We're going to start in the middle. We're going to do the exact same thing we did on the last nail, but you're obviously using a powder. So dab it on in there and start in the middle, and then work your way around and around and around in circles. So yeah, I've never used pigments before. I think I have used like a... Oh, there was a hair on the nail. I think I have used like a loose pigment before, and I wasn't like a huge fan. I think it was just because of what it was. It was like some random one I had. But I know some people use eyeshadows. The difference between, which you totally can, but the difference between using an eyeshadow and say these that are literally made for nails is the nail palettes from like Function of X here, they don't have a binding ingredient like eyeshadows do. Eyeshadows have like, I think they have like a glycerin, some sort of like binding ingredient to hold them together, and it gives the eyeshadow like moisture, if you will. I don't know. So they just don't go on as smooth as one that's literally made for nails. I had to speed things up here as well because we would have been here for quite a while. It took me like 2 minutes to do it this way. So not as long as the sponge option, but it did take a little while. So that's, 2 minutes for like one nail is a little bit of time, but it looks nice. I also used a little bit of that red in there to deepen up the center part because it wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be. There's a little mark on there. I don't know if like the nail got a little wet right there or something. I'm not really sure what happened, but it is what it is. So we're going to take that jelly white again, and we're going to put that all over the nail just like you did last time. It just makes everything look so nice. So yeah, I like the pigments. I think they look nice, and they're kind of fun to use. I'm definitely glad I got them. I'm going to play around with them a lot more. Function of X is just one of my favorite companies ever. They make the cutest stuff, and it's not just cute looking. Everything works so nice. So now you're going to take your airbrush gun and whatever airbrush liquid you're using, and your gloves. Don't forget your gloves. Most important part. You have to shake this stuff up so good. So shake it for a while. I shook it off camera. I shook it for a while. And you don't need very much. I only put 2 drops in here, and honestly, I probably could have got away with like 1 drop. But put 2 drops in your gun. If you don't have an airbrush gun, it's okay. You can just do one of the other options. So just like before, you're going to spray first in the middle, and then you're going to work your way. You're going to basically move your hand in circles around and press the gun or press the nozzle lightly. This is how you hold an airbrush gun. You use your thumb for the nozzle, and you use your pointer finger to guide where the gun is. You do not grab the base like that. You use it like this. Just so you know, it'll make your life a little easier if you use it properly. And then you just use your thumb to like lightly pull back. You don't want to just like yank it back or you're just going to have like a squirt that comes out. I always do like a little test spray to make sure everything's working properly so it looks nice. You are not going to be able to see how I'm moving the gun because I am out of frame, but you are going to see the nail. I know, I annoy myself. So I just started in the middle and I just moved my hand in circles and I pressed the nozzle lightly. I didn't like yank on it like I said. So you're just going to move the nail around until you have a nice little gradient. I did not have to speed this up at all. This took me seconds and we're done. So now I cured that because it is a gel and that's why I wore a mask. I don't want to hear about it. Okay, I wore a mask. Cover it all up in that jelly white, just like you did on all the other ones. I honestly didn't even have to do that with this one. It looked pretty smooth and perfect right off the get-go, but I wanted everything to be the same. So I put that jelly white on top and cured that. And now we're going to come back and see what they all look like together. So I thought this would be the easiest way to see them all. Obviously, sponge, pigment, and airbrush. They all look nice. This is the sponge. The pigment has that little mark on it and it's just driving me nuts. I think that I got like, I don't know if I spit on it or what happened, but and the airbrush. Smooth. They all look good. So if you only have one of these options, you're good. Now I don't think one is tremendously better than the other, but I do think that the airbrush turns out literally like it's the smoothest, it's the easiest, it's super fast. And then I think sponge and pigment are tied for second. That little mark, driving me nuts, has nothing to do with pigment itself. I literally think I accidentally like spit on the nail a little bit. I don't know what happened, but I think they all look really, really good. I love them. Bye, guys. Real quick, I just had to show you. I've had my nails on for a month and I use the Jello Peel Off Base like always. They've been on over a month. I'm ready to pop them off and I'll literally be able to pop them off in seconds because I use that peel off base, but they last as long as I want. I'm just forever obsessed. Okay guys, like, comment, subscribe. I love ya and I'll see you next time. Bye!